damn it. See, this is the sort of crap that I don't like, is when things that I think are telling the truth are actually lying to me. Because when you're dealing with such huge arrays of data, you can't just like look at the actual data unless it's drawing a picture of it. And if the goddamn like texture streaming system is not actually showing me what I'm looking at, then it's really unfortunate and makes working on this stuff very difficult. Because this preview looks like this, but the actual texture looks like this. If I play in the game, it looks wrong. So like what? Like what? Maybe if I close and open the editor, I'll see a different result. So this begins or continues the frustrating bits of working on stuff where you just like you start writing green to a texture and it turns out to be red and you're just like, what the hell is going on here? Alright, well let's turn off some of this laggy as hell debugging information. And I'm gonna need to look at the blueprint for this and make sure that the get direction and speed is not printing everything out. Because a lot of things have been lying to us, like the breakpoints weren't working inside of some of these blueprints behind interface function calls, which is just like really frustrating when you're like, am I actually getting called? And then it doesn't know. And then this material, this is wrong. Like this picture that it's drawing here is incorrect. Because this is the actual texture. So how in the hell is the material showing this? Like why do we have... Well, the reason it's going to look this way is because of something that we're doing. It's going to be that something's getting written here. I don't understand why, though. Let's see, is there anything else here that we can mess with? It's the rough blur radius. We just take it to 0. And it looks like this. Did the material actually work, or are we getting something screwed up here? I think there's something screwed up with our texture at the moment that Unreal's not telling us about, because it shouldn't be that bright a white. It turned to be that bright when I set the texture to be HDR, and then it didn't unset itself. And we've had a lot of issues with texture stuff not saving properly and doing really weird stuff in the editor. Especially when a material input node switches itself from like a color to a linear color and all that. It doesn't save. I've had to just go delete chunks out of materials. Now the thing is, like, this is what the material looks like in the actual texture view. So this is what it actually is supposed to look like. And then we just get, the preview is wrong though, and then, you know, the material in the game is wrong, and then when we play, it's again wrong. I guess I can do a shipping build and see if it has the same thing. Because what I'm guessing is there's some sort of in-memory horrible crap happening. Now you'd see a deadlock in that case. This code is not as smart as to like try every frame or something on some sort of issue like that. No, it would most definitely not be some sort of lock. And moving stuff around in the editor can sometimes be a gigantic pain in the ass. Alright, let's run that. You can hit N to land it on a surface. Eh. Well, when in doubt with some of these things, let's just mess around with stuff a little bit. Is this used anywhere? Let's see. Audit assets. I don't know. Let's see. Reference viewer shows a graph of references. Let's snag this texture. No, I'm pretty sure none of that's going to be a big deal here. Alright, so what's probably going on is that there's, this view is just wrong somehow, and our actual view is we're actually seeing. So let's see what we've got here. We're going to be doing something else in here that's going to be messing with this. Alright, so calculating paths is just going to say next node normalized path magnitude. So let's see, we've got this going on. Got the width. The index is going to be mx, cur node my. So we're going to actually write the path properly. White particles, flow pixels, blur pixels. Alright, so this blur is somehow messed up. So let's see. Alright, that looks about right. We'd expect everything to be white. So let's see. We might be flipped in some direction. So I'll have to think about that, and we'll have to kind of narrow it down. And the other thing I can do is I can just rewrite this function from scratch. If I can't find an issue with it, I can just write it again. And sometimes it's easier just to do that. So let's keep messing with this until we figure out what we're doing. I wonder if texture compression could be coming in here and screwing up values. No, it should be similar values. Let's take a look though. What sort of compression did we throw at the rest of these? Vector displacement? Yeah. Why don't we just try this as a vector displacement map? It's going to be inside of the blueprint, I believe. Yeah, I just closed it. Of course, using a vector displacement map, we're going to have a larger texture, but let's just rule out some texture compression issues. How big is this texture? It'll save as 1 meg about. That's not too bad. See all these lit fat sacks. Alright, so if we do that, we'll save it. We'll see if our blurs actually do anything. And then I'll just rewrite some of this, just so I know exactly what it's doing. Because we're getting closer to actually getting our flow field proper. I've just got some stuff wrong with my math, obviously. There's some array index garbage going on. See, now this looks correct when it's well, as in this looks exactly like what is on here. So obviously what was wrong was the viewer of the texture was screwed up. So it's our blur. Something's wrong with that. So let's think about this for a second. What the hell does this actually do? I blame Unreal. Well, that's That's fine. Okay, so the blur is supposed to... We're supposed to have two blurs. It's like what's happening is it's blurring everything. Like what's going on is we've got some sort of blur radius thing, and it's actually, let me think. The Y looks like it's correct, but the X looks wrong. So the X, it's like we've got something here where our loop iteration is fucked. All right. Let's just change this logic around. Let's just say for int ax equals negative radius ax. And y equals negative radius ay is less than radius plus ay. Alright, so in 32, let's just change the variable names. Alright, it's going to be inner x plus x. Actual y is going to be inner y plus y. So if actual x is less than 0, or y is less than 0, or x is greater than map width, or y is greater than map height, or ax, yeah, let's just say if inner x equals 0, or and inner y equals 0. Continue. So the inner index is going to be this actual x plus actual y times map width. Because it was like we were going way too far on the y, the radius, the y blur or something. We're taking every pixel on it. Hello, 1502 random. How's it going today? I've been working for quite a while today. 7.5 hours so far going on. So that at least I do, reach kind of the edge of not working super efficiently or super well. After around 6 hours, I think it just kind of falls off. Hopefully you're doing well. I am just getting this flow field stuff. We've got everything pretty much in order. It's the little things that are It's always the last 10% that is the real pain in the butt. And we're on the last 10%. Alright, so I'm going to do a conditional here. Let's see, x, yeah, let's throw a conditional breakpoint on this guy, and let's actually say like x is 400 and y equals 200. Conditional things are kind of ridiculous at times. So x is 1, x is 5, y is 45. Alright, so radius is 1. What is green anyway? Well, we are normalizing our vector. Alright, so what's probably going to be going on here is that our blur is... Okay, I'll be right back and then I'll explain what's going on. So the reason why this is all screwed up is, and why this is what it looks like for the magnitude, and this is what it looks like for the direction vector, is because as we're iterating along the data for this texture, we are setting it in line. So we're going from 0, 0 to 5, 12, 5, 12, and As soon as we do, we normalize this vector as we move along. So as soon as we hit any pixel, because we're iterating like this, I'm pretty sure. So as soon as we hit a pixel that's green or anything, we're going to set it. And then we're going to continue going along here, blurring the previous pixel with our current pixel the entire time. So as soon as we run into one of these, basically, it's in one of these directions or whatever the hell, we're going to be blurring pixels that we have set already, and what we should be doing for our blur is copying into a new buffer instead of the same buffer. So that's what's going on. So we need to have input pixels and output pixels. Alright, so so this is what we need to do, is just that. So there's no way to balance the weights on these things because the weights are all trash. As we iterate along, the weight is dynamically changing, which we don't want. So we'll just copy. We'll do copies. And the reason we're seeing it not on the other one is because the magnitude was not getting normalized. So it would naturally fall off as you move away. Because you're adding in your current position or anything, which is going to be a 0 or whatever, and then it would fall off, so not a problem. So yeah, this is... Alright, what direction is green anyway? Because obviously it's wrong. It's very clear that the direction that we want to be going is not this direction. This is not a true direction at all. This green is... Like, what direction is green? Green is RGB. So it's 0 and the R direction is Y. So the issue here is going to be the path. So let's take a look at the path nodes. Info log. Path node sub D has direction, has position of %D, %D, and direction of %D, or %F, %F. Alright, so this is going to be I, cur node. Guess these should also not be copies. So this will be kernode.mx, kernode.my, and this will be dir.x, dir.y. And let's print out the previous position as well. So next node, okay, no, is, alright, path node blah is from blah to blah, and the direction is blah. Alright, so we can print all that data out because this is just going to be like, 100 nodes or something, so we can all just look at it pretty simply. But why is it green? I would imagine it wouldn't be green, it would be, when it turns the corner, it would turn into blue and red and everything else. So it's no R. So there's a complete lack of one of the axes. It's just like it's initialized to garbage, nothing. Alright, so the final paths, alright, so it's going to be going in the X direction a whole bunch. I mean the Y direction. Oh, wow. Yeah, there we go. That direction was all sorts of screwed up. We legitimately just had a bug there where I was taking the X direction there. It was X minus Y for the Y, which is absolutely wrong. So that would cause some really screwed up flow data, that's for sure. I really need a new mix of music. I'm just getting completely tired of this garbage. But there's only so many approved things for Twitch that don't also get blown up on YouTube. Alright, so that looks a lot better, doesn't it? Alright. They're doing some screwy stuff over there. And we can see our texture here. That looks much better. Alright, we need to figure out why these fat sacks aren't roaming around them properly, because they should be getting the texture. They're probably not colliding with the ground properly. Just throw all this stuff over here. So this is what happens when we hit the ground. Otherwise, what we're going to want to do is, if this is false, we're going to want to set ourselves to move onto the water. So we're going to set our position to, I guess, the point of collision. So I guess we want to get some, like the last. And we want to basically take the position plus, or what is the, we'll take the impact point, I guess. What is the location? Impact point. This is a hit result structures. All right. Let's see. The impact point is the location, world space of actual contact of the trace shape with the object. So we want the impact point. So the z is going to be up, so we want to take the x and the y. And then we're going to take the z of this actor. We want to take the hit z, so yeah, we'll just take the hit actor, and we'll take the z, and then we'll add let's add 5 to it. No, we want to add like 50. Let's add 60 to it. Yeah. And we want to set our location to that. Alright, so that'll set ourselves 60 units above the water. We're to have a radius of 50 for our actual sweep, so hopefully this will fix our fat sacks so they actually kayak around here. Our Z should be set to negative 5,000. So our new location Z is what? This doesn't seem to make much sense to me. We're going to set ourselves to 0, 0, negative 47,000. Maybe some of these things aren't actually set. Let me just see here. The actor was the test water. The location Z is 5,000. So we're going to set our Z to... What was our Z? Negative 4109. Negative 4109. How is this object at negative 5,000 and this object, like if I set this object to 5,000, negative 5,000, it's directly in line. That's 4213. Okay, so I got something messed up with the water? Or the water blueprint? But the water surface is at 0, 0. I am very confused as to how these numbers somehow add up to each other. It's off by 1,000. It's off by 1,000? Exactly. It's off by exactly 1,000 for some reason. What? But I didn't move anything. Is this geometry for this water somehow screwed up?